Imagine a country, once defined by war, destruction and poverty, a place where jungles echoed with gunfire and cities lay in ruins. Fast forward to today, sleek highways, towering skyscrapers and high-tech factories humming with production. Apple, Samsung, Intel, they're not just outsourcing here, they're investing billions. This isn't China. This is Vietnam, a country rewriting the rules of the global economy quietly and decisively. How did this happen? And why do some believe Vietnam could be the next economic superpower? Let's unravel this fascinating transformation. Vietnam's modern journey begins in turmoil, nearly a century under French colonial rule. Then, the Vietnam War, a 20-year nightmare that left over 3 million dead, cities flattened, farmlands scorched, families displaced. By 1980, Vietnam's GDP per capita was less than $300, among the lowest in the world. Hunger was widespread, infrastructure was nearly non-existent. The world had written Vietnam off. But Vietnam wasn't done yet. A quiet storm was brewing, one that would change everything. In 1986, Vietnam launched Đổi Mới, meaning renovation. It was bold, it was risky, and it changed everything. The government began shifting away from rigid socialism toward a market-oriented economy. Farmers were allowed to sell their own produce. State-owned factories welcomed private capital. Foreign investors were cautiously invited in. And suddenly new life began to stir. Local businesses emerged. Trade opened up. Vietnam was rejoining the world on its own terms. By the early 2000s, Vietnam had become a manufacturing magnet. Nike saw it first, moving production from China to Vietnam. Adidas followed, then Apple. Today, over 50% of Samsung smartphones are made in Vietnam, over 40% of Adidas shoes. Electronics, textiles, machinery, Vietnam's exports now exceed $370 billion annually. Ports are busier than ever. Industrial zones are expanding. This isn't by chance, it's policy and precision. Vietnam knew it couldn't grow alone, so it turned to diplomacy and made trade its weapon. From the US to Japan, the EU to China, Vietnam signed over 15 major free trade agreements. Combined with low labor costs, a young, educated workforce, political stability, it created the perfect storm for foreign direct investment. In 2023 alone, Vietnam attracted $36.6 billion in FDI, a 32% jump from the year before. It's a masterclass in playing globalization right, something even developed economies struggle with. Vietnam doesn't just want to build for others, it wants to design, innovate, and lead. Enter VinFast, Vietnam's first major EV brand. Though still facing challenges, it represents a bold new direction. And it's not alone. Intel, Foxconn, and other tech giants are investing heavily in R&D centers across the country. Universities are focusing on STEM. Startups are gaining traction. Vietnam's future? Not just factories, but innovation hubs. But not everyone is benefiting. Nearly 20% of the population still lives on less than $5.50 a day. Rural provinces often lag far behind the booming cities. Corruption remains a concern, with several high-profile scandals shaking public trust. And worker rights? Still a sensitive issue, especially in industrial zones. For all its progress, Vietnam still has deep work ahead to make sure no one is left behind. So what comes next? Analysts project Vietnam could break into the top 20 global economies by 2030. Some even call it the new China, but with a unique, quieter strength. If it can maintain balance, growth with fairness, speed with sustainability, then Vietnam may become not just a manufacturing giant, but a true technological and economic leader of the 21st century. Vietnam's rise wasn't guaranteed. It was earned through resilience, reform, and relentless drive. A nation once synonymous with conflict, now a symbol of possibility. From war zones to world stages, from rice paddies to robotics. Vietnam's transformation is a reminder that, with vision and courage, even the most broken places can build extraordinary futures. Inspired by Vietnam's story? Hit like, subscribe, and tell us in the comments, which country do you think is the next economic dark horse? More global insights every week, only here.